But let me tell you about something that does cause me to be pissed off. It pisses me off that you ignore the fact and downplay the fact that I was suicidal because of shit that people you know had goaded them into doing. It pisses me off that you try to act like someone else going through severe mental anguish, regardless of who it is, as a joke. I mean, you said the same shit about Take Shot Action. You said Take Shot Action self-harming in a tiny chat was funny. You tried to pretend that was a big fucking joke when he's dealing with depression. And basically what you did was you tried to attribute his depression to fucking YouTube instead of taking 5 minutes to pull your fucking head out of your ass and realize that maybe, just maybe, it's personal shit that has him upset and not something as trivial as YouTube. And that's the thing, like, you think that your comments on my videos were what got to me? No. The comments were basically just these annoying little nitpicky things which weren't that big of a fucking deal. What got to me was the fact that you started trying to, like, burrow yourself into my personal life, and you tried to socially engineer conflict between my girlfriend and myself. You tried to fuck with my family. And I know it's you that created the fucking stock account on Facebook, who I guess I can call Greelan, because let's face it, no one else fucking cared that much. Like, no one else really had that much of a need to do it. Like, you did that because I'm pretty sure that you needed drama. And the thing is, though, when I stopped engaging with you, it seems like your channel took a pretty sizable hit. Because all of a sudden, all the people that came to see you, quote-unquote, owning the autistic, because, yeah, someone who's really mentally sound needs to go and, like, fucking attack someone with mental disabilities. Yeah, you're such a big, strong man, huh? Attack someone who has a mental disability just because you yourself have problems in your own little shit life and you need to find whatever you can to escape from it. The thing is, though, it's obvious why you fucking did it. You did it because you knew it would generate drama. You did it because you knew it would give you an ego boost to see someone get mad. And at the time, I was fucking furious. At the time, I was through the roof because I couldn't believe that someone would have the gall and the audacity to try to fuck with my family, to try to fuck with my relationship, when I myself had done nothing of of the likes of that to them. And before you say, well, it wasn't me, well, can you provide proof that it wasn't you? Like, can you actually show me a screenshot of a Facebook account or a login that it wasn't you? But then again, the account seemed to fuck off when my uncle and I both called it out. So that only means that A, the account has since deleted itself, or B, whoever did it decided that it would be best to pretend that it didn't happen, because then I could end up showing that to the cops as well. Very creative, by the way, using a picture of my girlfriend with her ex. Although I have to say it's an A for effort, but an F for execution. Because honestly, you could have used a lot more creative things. Like, you literally could have used a multitude of different things. You could have made a meme. Like, you could have done a bunch of really funny shit, which would have really helped deliver your point and help drive it home. But you didn't do that. Like, you didn't do that. Instead, you figured the best thing to do was to use something so on the nose and retarded that it basically just made me facepalm at how stupid and obvious it was. Now, this is going to be my last little part of this, because honestly, I feel like I've given you too much time as it is. I feel like I'm giving you way too much fucking attention. And I know I'm feeding a troll. Like, people are going to tell me, well, you're feeding the troll on YouTube. You were done with this guy, you were finished with him, and yes, I am finished with him. This is basically more or less just the epilogue afterwards. The epilogue of the Marble Saga. Of him being a manipulative psychopath who stalks you on Facebook Saga. And before someone says, well, he didn't stalk you because he was on that group. No, I don't think, it's not about him being on the group. That was coincidence. I understand that's coincidence. But the fact is, like, he had found where I worked by watching my Facebook account since I had never posted it publicly. Like, I posted it in a comment section on my Facebook account to a relative of mine. And the only way he could have found that out is if he was constantly monitoring my Facebook to see where I was. Otherwise, he wouldn't have known, because I would never tag myself on YouTube as to where I worked or what I was doing. That's kind of creepy, isn't it? It's kind of creepy that someone's actually following your Facebook page regularly to see what you're doing. I mean, that's very discomforting. That's very disquieting and that's very disconcerting. It makes you feel very creeped out that someone would put that much effort forward, that they've literally tried to fuck your life up because of some bullshit you said on YouTube. And that's the thing, like, he turns these things that would only be on YouTube, like, they would have been, like, these stupid, inane, harmless little things, and then he turns them into, like, personal attacks. Like, instead of simply saying, well, okay, you criticized me on YouTube, you asked me questions I didn't want to answer on YouTube, and I fucked with you for, like, 8 months before I just answered the question. And the thing is, though, instead of doing all that, instead of just answering the question on YouTube, it's like, I gotta turn this into a personal thing. Because my channel is struggling for drama. Because people are getting sick of me doing Cloud9 and simply talking about the same tired bullshit that everyone's already discussed. I mean, seriously, like, what does Cloud9 do? Is it basically just a bunch of men in their late 20s sitting around on a fucking Google Hangout bitching about bullshit that happened to people that they no longer associate with? I mean, I've had people who've seen it and they've pretty much I'm going to paraphrase what they said. It's basically just a bunch of grown-ass men sitting in a podcast bitching about bullshit that happened with people that they no longer talk to and who want nothing more to do with them. And they basically seem to stroke each other's egos and basically circle jerk each other about how clever they think the other people are for having fucked with these people in some of the most disgusting ways possible. And the thing is, I actually watched one episode. It was like a very early episode. It was filmed a couple of years ago that was on an archive channel because one of my cousins actually requested me to watch it. And basically I felt like I wanted to drive a fucking ice pick into my brain the whole time. Because maybe out of like every 20 things, they would say one thing that would get a little giggle out of me because it was slightly funny in the concept of what they were talking about. In regards to, like, the sort of weird shit that a person jokes about when they're high. And then the rest of it was, like, nothing more but just relentless circle jerking or bashing the autistic or shitting on people who they don't even talk to anymore. Like, honestly, I'm surprised there wasn't some motherfucker on there just shitting about his ex. And before someone says, well, you're a hypocrite because you posted that story in that group. Well, the thing is, though, I didn't give my ex's name. I didn't give locations. I censored particular parts of the story because A, it was true, and B, I wanted to at least let that person be anonymous because I didn't want people fucking with them. Like, even though that person and I are no longer together, I have respect for that person, and I don't want to violate their fucking privacy like that. And the sad part is, when you see people doing shit like that, they know full well what they're doing is creepy and wrong, and it just doesn't make them look good. It doesn't. Like, sure, what I did was fucking stupid and really immature. Like, I could have handled it a multitude of different ways by simply just pitching a rant, which I might end up doing eventually if I really want to get around to re-uploading the audio only, and then just putting, like, a picture of, say, like a fucking elephant seal or something as heavy as Emery in it. But nevertheless, to me it just seemed like a tremendous fucking waste of time even trying to reason with him or trying to talk to him. Like, I didn't really insult him, that's the thing. Like, the funny thing is, I actually was restraining myself very much. I was showing an amazing amount of restraint for someone like myself who has a little bit of a problem with being impulsive. I was actually showing quite a bit of restraint on my behalf, and I may have insulted him once or twice, maybe a few times, but the point being is, I was being pretty civil, I was being pretty rational. And the thing is, though, every time I would refuse to join, he would just insult me, which means, like, he's trying to clearly manipulate me into going. Like, he's trying to very subtly try to manipulate me by pissing me off into where I go, just so he'll shut the fuck up. And I didn't do it because, well, let's face it, I know that if I did do it, it would basically just be a repeat of last time, like I already said. But here is my biggest issue. Here's the part that has gotten me to the point to where I don't really care what I say to you, what I say about you, about what I say about your little scumfuck puppets who seem to only dance when you pull the right string. Because basically that's what they are. Like, your friends will tell you if you're going too far. Your friends will at least counsel you or advise you about things that you do and say, well, maybe this is too far, maybe this might be a little much. And honestly, David said that it was a little much, and then he thought about it for a minute. It's like, never mind, it should be okay. This is funny as hell. Because it was only intended to be a joke. It was only intended to be like a shock humor piece. Just, I was experimenting with it and trying to see if it would be funny. And it wasn't. Like, the rant itself was fucking hilarious because it was point blank, to the point. It didn't fuck around. It wasn't filled with gratuitous insults for the most part. It was pretty much dead on about the issue. And the thing is, I should have listened to David's first response and had toned it down. And had simply used another picture. Because I realized, like, the next day, I realized, well, yeah, this is a little bit much. I went a little bit too far. I should issue an apology. And it wasn't because of what people were saying, it's because I myself came to the realization that it was a bit much. I didn't need to get fucking harassed to realize that I did something that was a little bit out of line. Well, I'm not gonna say a little bit, because it was tremendously out of line. But compared to what other people in the same little group of scumfucks I dealt with did, it's kind of par for the course. But let's get into the aftermath of that, shall we? After the Skype call, like literally just an hour after the call had ended, after it had been uploaded and everything, like before I fucking knew it, I got email after email after email after email, literally 10 pages worth of emails, 50 emails per page. So it's 500 fucking emails of people telling me to kill myself, people telling me to kill myself, people saying they were gonna kill me, people threatening to kill my family, people threatening to burn my fucking house down, people threatening to rape my fucking girlfriend, people threatening to shoot my mother in the head. People threatening to find my father and kill him. People threatening to attack my aunt and uncle and hurt my young cousin. People threatened to find my brother and hurt his girlfriend who had not yet had their kid. So it's safe to assume that I was pretty justifiably upset. And I was pretty reasonably emotionally distraught because people in my family were being threatened. I figured that if I harmed myself or did something like that, then maybe, just maybe, it would appease them enough to not fuck with the people in my life. I wasn't worried about my own fucking self-preservation at that point. I was worried about the people fucking around me because I didn't know how far those fucks would go. And I think it's funny, asshole. I think it's funny that you say shit like that is fucking hilarious. Well, you know for a fact that if people did it to you, you'd be in the exact same fucking situation I was in. You'd be just as fucking distraught. Especially when they're actually sending your fucking address in their emails. Sending your mother's home address in the email. Sending your uncle's address and aunt's address in the emails.